Greetings. Welcome to the podcast. I am your host. My name is Mike Bankhead. I am a bass player and songwriter from the Gem City, Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, it's been a while since I had an episode up. I hope you didn't miss me too badly, but I hope you missed me a little bit because I want people to listen to these interesting conversations with interesting people. This time we have a band on the You Could Be My Aramis podcast. This band is called Three at Home, and they are from the greater Boston area in Massachusetts. Let's get to the conversation, shall we? There are three of you.
There are three of us.
And you might be at home.
We're not. We're in a library.
You're in a library.
We are in a library.
You're allowed to talk. That's not like any library around here.
We're in a recording studio inside of a library.
It's very cool.
That's fancy.
It's a little podcast table and set up with the computer and the nice microphone and
wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I know you, but whoever's listening doesn't. So I would like you to introduce yourselves.
Sure. I'm Dan. That's Mary.
I'm Mary. That's Dan.
And that's Kari.
Hi, I'm Kari.
And we're Three at Home.
Mm-hmm.
And you are from the greater Boston area.
Correct.
Though you do not sound like it.
No, none of us are originally from Boston.
Right.
That explains it.
So
may I ask where you are all originally from?
I'm from originally right outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I'm from Michigan.
And I grew up in New York City.
Wow, y'all could not be more differently started. So how did somebody from just outside of Philadelphia, which could very well be New Jersey, somebody from Michigan, which could be anywhere from Grand Rapids to Ann Arbor to Lansing to Detroit, and somebody from the city, how did you guys meet and become Three at Home?
Well, Dan and I met each other
a very long time ago.
The timeline is a little unclear.
We're pretty sure at one point it was us and Lake Street Dive at an open mic challenge, and we didn't know each other, but we ended up talking at some point, and then yeah, we should totally hang out, and then nothing happened.
And then forgot. And then
like you do.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later,
something like that.
it happened again, but without Lake Street Dive.
Right.
And we were like, yeah, we should totally hang out, and totally forgot.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later, I think that this is enough time.
I like this.
Yeah,
this is a good one. Telling of it.
We were invited to play a cover-to-cover show in which Boston songwriters were playing each other's music. And I think it wasn't random.
No,
we were like,
random.
hey.
Yeah. Because we had already, I think, started occasionally playing together, maybe a bit at that point, and so I think we asked to be
that's right,
paired up.
Yeah.
And then so we had a chance to play each other's songs on stage, as solo artists.
Right.
And then that went very well.
Yeah.
And so then we were like, well, maybe we just play these together
from now on. Yeah. So
and so that was probably 6-ish years ago.
6-ish years ago, yeah.
And then Kari started playing with us just a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
They were we were connected with them through a mutual friend when we were looking for a drummer for a gig about a year ago, and
Kari couldn't make the gig, but showed up.
So it was
we had a drummer already.
We had a drummer already.
I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds great. I'd love to play with you, but we just booked somebody for this show.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to show up anyway. And
yeah, it was cool.
And see,
And we were just like, I was just like, I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling. And so we kept in touch, and I just kept every several months. I was like, we didn't forget you.
There was COVID.
And then there was COVID again.
And that was fine with me. I had a lot going on. So we just were kept in touch, and yeah.
So about 4 months ago, they played the first show with us.
Yeah.
And then we had a show with just Kari and Mary, and then had a show with just Kari and me. And then we finally had a show with all of us. And so we've been playing we're up to almost 10, right?
Something like that. Yeah. As
10 shows with at least the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
You know how I know it's official is that Kari's name is on the about page of your website.
Well, that's the thing. I was not, I've been looking for this sort of a situation with somewhere where I get definitely an opportunity to play drums. I love playing drums, but I also like doing vocal harmonies. And so when I heard what they're doing, I'm like, this is what I've been looking for. And then with the personalities and just, we all have families and can understand limitations. Hey, we're not going to be able to go on tour for like a month or 2 months. It was just the right fit. And just, Mary and Dan are such talented musicians.
Kari.
No, really.
So is Kari.
Yeah.
Kari.
And that I said, I think it was maybe our third gig or something. And I said, so can I be in the band? Not just like, hey, playing with us today is. I'm like, no, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do this all the time. I want to contribute what I can to the songs. I don't songwrite, but I can contribute, so I'm interested in the process.
Amazing harmonies. Kari contributes amazing harmonies.
Yeah. So
incredible drummer and just like, and yes. And then personality wise, it has all worked out very well too.
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable. So I'm quite pleased even in a short amount of time. We text like probably almost daily on our little group chat, just ridiculous things like, look what I'm cooking for dinner. Check this out. Everything from that to like, oh my God, I'm going through so much with, my kid is having a hard time and just kind of like processing through stuff. So it's actually pretty amazing.
It's been pretty great.
Yeah.
You mentioned that everybody's got a family, so this is the segue for me to ask you to explain your band name, which you explained to me already, but the people listening didn't hear it. So, Three at Home.
Yeah, it's an homage to the folks who can't always come to the gigs with us. So each of us has 3 family members who are often at home when we go out to play. And it's not always, but and so it's kind of like a nod to like
yeah. And actually, so it started with Mary and I with our families at home, and then Kari joined and has 3 at home, and our guitar player Carlin also has 3 at home when he comes to play with us. So it's just like
we're like
you have to have 3 at home or else you can't be in the band.
Right. That's it. It's the job requirement now.
That's fair. Hey, you gotta fit the branding.
Right. Exactly. It's all about branding. It's all about branding.
So I met 2 of the 3 of you in Austin at the CD Baby Musician Conference.
Yeah.
Did you guys come away from that with an elevator pitch? Like I was going to ask you to do your elevator pitch.
You used to have a good elevator pitch,
and then we decided we hated it.
Right.
Oh.
So,
I think our sound morphed.
That's what happened. Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. We I don't know. What does our Twitter say? What is our? I don't know.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I can answer that for you in about 10 seconds.
It's probably not right.
Thanks, Mike.
Your Twitter says, "Come on, load."
That's not what our Twitter says, everybody.
No, it says Coasset Red Lion 11.6 Fleetwood Mac through a Frank Turner and Brandy Carlisle filter.
That's it. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac through a Brandy Carlisle and Frank Turner filter.
Oh,
that's not bad.
It's not. Yeah,
that's not bad, Dan. You wrote that.
That's pretty good. Wait a second. That's not bad. I like that. Yeah,
so that's it.
Yeah.
You see, it's like
you lied. It's amazing.
Who wrote that, Dan?
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody I don't know.
What kind of things did you take from the CD Baby conference that'll help you all in your career?
I think the biggest thing I took away was like a validation of what I think is going to be our touring strategy going forward, that like you don't have to hit the road for like 6 months and like, eat cheese sandwiches and live in the back of a van. Like you can like focus on you can focus on individual cities or individual regions and just go there for a few days and then like come home and then
go back a couple months later.
Right. Yeah. As long as you're continuing to like build things, it doesn't have to look like it's always looked, and it's maybe not even feasible for most. It certainly isn't for us with families and all, like, but it even still, I think for a lot of other folks, it's not like tenable to just like go broke trying to go on tour and like as fun as it can be, you know? So I think that was the biggest thing was like being like, oh, it doesn't have to look like what it's looked like, what it does for other people. Like it can look different and still be completely valid.
That's very timely. I don't know how often you guys read like current music news and current music discourse, because, you know, we're all busy and not everyone has time to read that stuff. But there's a lot of discourse right now around how unsustainable touring is and how a lot of musicians are coming home from tour having lost just a pile of money. And two high profile enough artists that make the news just called off their tours. One of them was Santa Gold, who I think is really brilliant, had a tour scheduled, did the math, and was like, hey, I can't, combined with my mental health and the fact that it's not going to pay that much, I can't do this tour. And then the other band, I forget, but their tour was a European one, which historically, the pay's better over there when you're on the road. Yeah. So if you can't afford to, like, that's a better experience for a touring American musician, and they couldn't even afford to do that. And this band, and I wish I remembered what they were called, but they just canceled a European tour. And it'd be nice if there was a reckoning in the industry, and it would change the way things work. But we all know that's probably not going to happen, because unfortunately the thing that we pour our souls into has been devalued so much by the general public, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right, enough of that depressing stuff. I'm going to ask about your creative process. So I was listening to some of your songs. So I noticed Mary wrote Magnificat, which I'm probably not saying right. How should I pronounce that?
Now I'm just like,
Yes.
Well, it does say cat at the end. How should I pronounce that?
Magnificat. It's Latin.
Yeah, go Latin. Sure.
Yeah.
Right. I don't speak that, but I speak a couple of Latin grandchildren, so I get it. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Magnificat. Dan wrote Athena.
Correct.
And the older one that was so depressing. Shatter Me. That's another Mary song. Yeah, that song was like, ooh.
Goodness.
That is a lot.
It's a great song, but I was like,
song.
It gave me the feels, I guess.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Mary song, right? Except for all the other Mary songs. So, yeah.
But that was sort of the point. It was almost a processing kind of, right?
Yeah.
And I even though it may come across as depressing, like I don't know, that I think folks have gone through that can identify with it.
Oh yeah.
So it's, I don't know.
Like, it seemed to me like it was somebody coming to grips with the trauma that they had inherited from the previous generation and refusing to pass it down. At least that's the vibe
that's
I got.
That's literally what it is.
Yep.
Oh, well then, I mean, your mission as a songwriter accomplished, right? I got it. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say those singles are actually like kind of unusual for some of our creative process over the last several years, because, you know, it has largely been Dan and I writing together. And those were ones that we had each written separately.
Yeah. And
like, which is how things started, like, you know, back several years ago, was us bringing individual songs into the band. But we started writing together. And so it was kind of, those were funny ones because we each were like, I wrote a song.
Yeah.
You didn't write it with me. Sorry.
Sorry. But we regularly send each other snippets of, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? You know, lots of text message lyrics and sharing of notes voice memos. So that's a lot of our songs came out that way.
Yeah.
Too. So.
All right, songwriters are going to write. So my question to the songwriters, sorry, Carrie, you already said you don't.
Very offended.
Sorry, Carrie. I actually
just remember that.
I actually have a friend named Carrie who spells it like you do, and that is why I'm all.
It's okay. They're wrong. It's
fine. Right. Yeah, I get it. How do you decide when you're going to keep it as opposed to one that needs to be a 3-at-home song?
Oh,
I don't. I feel like more and more there are less. There are fewer individual songs.
Yeah.
Is kind of what's happened. Because sometimes I know there have been some songs that I have written over the last few years that I was like, well, never. we'll never play this one together. And then
and then it's Magnificat, and then we put it out as a single, and I sing backup harmonies and play guitar on it. So
right. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming. But
right.
And
it's the story of the band.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. So yeah, I think it's becoming fewer and fewer.
Mm-hmm.
The more time goes on, co-writing is such a good experience. It's I mean, I do love writing stuff on my own too, but it's
and even the ones that we do write, at least for me, and I'm probably for you as well. But once Mary sings on it or does something, I'm like, oh no, that's how it's supposed to go. So even if it's quote unquote done, it's really not.
Right.
So
I mean, that's absolutely true. Like having the input from the two of you and like what you're bringing into the song, like it changes it, and in like a good way. So
how do you decide who sings lead?
I don't think we always do.
We don't decide.
We find it's a game of chicken sometimes, honestly.
Especially when the lyrics are in front of us.
We're like,
who's feeling it?
Yeah, who's feeling it right now? You? No. And then eventually
we do it enough.
Yeah. And then you go, oh, that's how it goes.
Yeah,
or I mean, there's an intentional rehashing of like, no. Like you have to go up there. I have to go down. Like whatever,
Right.
But at first I think it's there's not always there's not always a decision. It sometimes just happens.
Or like there was a song that Mary wrote a lot of the lyrics for and was like, here, you have to sing this. I can't.
Okay.
It was very rude, but
but I was right. So
but you were right. Yeah. No, fill it up. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I was like, I can't, I especially couldn't play it. Like every time I played it, it was dumb.
Or actually, that's the other thing too, is like sometimes we each bring songs and the other person's like, but that's not how it goes. This is how it goes.
Right.
I know I've done that at least twice.
Yes.
So sorry, question mark.
When are you writing one for Kari to sing?
Oh, that's a great question. I love this idea. I'm a big fan of this. I was thinking about that today, actually. So we just played a show. We're in Medford, Massachusetts, which is just across the river from Boston, basically. And we just played a show, and we're playing. It's a longer show, so we throw a bunch of covers in, and we're playing "Closer to Fine" by Indigo Girls. And I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if Kari sang this? And as I'm playing it, I'm like, I probably should have said something before we started the song. So I feel like that'd be great.
Yes.
Are you? Yes.
We could try it. We could try it. Mary's a phenomenal singer. Dan, you are a great singer too. I don't know if I'm quite up to their caliber just yet.
Oh my God.
It's
quite, Dan.
It's true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's a thing that's happening.
Yeah. For me, like I harmonies are definitely something I hear, and I'm very much into blending, but I am willing to branch out.
Cool.
These guys are, they're giving me a little more confidence. So I appreciate that. So
you should have confidence.
Yes.
You're good.
Okay.
Yes.
You're very good.
Well, they're fantastic. See, this is why it works.
Yeah.
This is the whole thing. The whole thing is like, well, you're great, but you are also. You're the best.
People like that.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's true.
It's really gross.
These guys are gross.
I had that on mute. That's probably better than being Oasis and hating each other. So
Exactly.
Plus, I'm a better guitar player than he is anyway.
Oh, yes.
So
Gauntlet thrown.
There we go.
we had this. Mary and I had this conversation a couple months ago. Was it when we were on tour?
We were, yeah.
But right before we got to Austin, when we ran into you, we were driving from. We weren't supposed to drive from Baltimore to North Carolina, but we did. We're supposed to fly, but the plane wasn't going to be there for like 10 hours. So we're like, hey, you can spend 10 hours in the car and get there at the same time. And we were having this conversation about Oasis and about how we were going to go on tour with them.
Right.
How did this start?
Well, because there's a friend of a friend who like knows them, and maybe I don't know.
And so we decided we're going on tour with them, and I was going to get into a fight with Noel,
right?
Because I'm a better guitar player than he is. So and he was going to be very mad. So
no, I feel like Noel he could get mad. I don't think he would actually take a swing at somebody. Liam would absolutely hit somebody though.
Yeah.
But it's all fantasy. Come on.
Well, I can sing better than Liam anyway, so it's either one of them. Someone's gonna.
I mean, have you heard him recently? It's not taking much these days.
Oh, no.
I love those guys, but
no, they're great.
Time and the cigarettes have not done good things for his voice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking is very, very bad for you. Okay.
Smoking is very, very bad for you. All right, so there are a couple questions I ask all the podcast guests, and you're going to get subjected to those.
Do it.
I apologize in advance. The cool thing is, since there's three of you, we're going to get all sorts of different answers. So the first one, and I invented this question on my own completely by accident, and I'm kind of proud of it. What was the first song you can remember hearing in your life? Like, you have to go back to when you were diminutive in size.
Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Nice.
There is a video of me somewhere.
Was it singing or hearing?
Singing it. Well, I think, but it's also kind of like the first one I remember hearing, but I think that's why, like that. So the memory just sticks because I knew it well enough, for a 3-year-old to sing it on video.
Nice.
Although I think I still screwed up the words at some point, but
right.
We'll let
3-year-old Mary.
We'll let 3-year-old Mary slide, I guess.
Ugh.
But that's probably the oldest one, or something else that my grandpa would sing to me all the time, probably.
Yeah.
I can remember also being told, but also kind of remembering I don't know how old I was, little enough to be in a playpen, and this is like back in the 70s, so I'll date myself. Big old stereo and hearing Seals and Crofts' Diamond Girl and kind of like dancing to it, loving it. That's
amazing.
I don't even know that song. I'm about to Google it.
Oh, you have to, absolutely.
Oh, Seals and Crofts. Yeah, fantastic. Talk about harmonies.
I'm gonna go with the Irish traditional song "Whistling Gypsy" because I'm pretty sure that was a song that my grandmother sang to me like every single day, and I have this like visceral memory that if it weren't a Beatles song or Desperado by Linda Ronstadt, it's probably that. So
that was good. I like that.
Good question.
All right, now for the question I stole from somebody else. What did your childhood smell like?
Pasta sauce.
Elaborate, Mr. Italian last name person.
So my even today, so my entire life, my dad got up, went to mass on Sunday morning, but before he went to mass, he put the sauce on. And he went to mass and came home. He did this when he was even young, and like my grandparents, who would always have us over for dinner, came over at our house on Sunday. It was like a big deal. And he would set a timer for 15 minutes, and every 15 minutes, someone had to stir the sauce. So when he was at church, someone else had to do it, or when we got back, someone else, he could do it himself. And then at around 4-ish, people would start just showing up. Aunts and uncles, whoever was there. 15 people was a small dinner. My parents had this big piece of plywood that they put in on top of the dining room table because they couldn't fit everybody. And so you had to like balance at some point, make sure that it wasn't too shifted one way or the other. And whoever was sitting at that side had to be aware of it. So there we go. The pasta sauce. That's my smell.
That's a good answer.
Thank you. I tried.
And a great story.
Well,
yeah.
I don't think I have anything so long and like interesting.
I mean, I could say it smelled like red wine too. That's probably part of it. So.
Also delicious. Also probably some of the sauce.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Yeah.
As it should be.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certain, I have some fond memories of things, of weird smells that I like. This could sound like dark memories. These are not dark memories, but of like wine and whiskey and a musty basement. And like, it sounds way darker than it actually is. It's mostly just like things I remember smelling at my grandparents' house, or soup. It always smelled like soup at my grandma's house too. And like this just sounds so terrible. Like,
no, it's just
like
delicious.
Soup is delicious.
It smells like food, but like And probably a little bit of like a beachy smell, but like a Great Lakes beach, not like the ocean.
Lake Erie or the one on the other side?
I grew up on Lake Michigan.
Okay.
I grew up in Traverse City, Michigan, which is right on Lake Michigan by the Pinky of the Mitten. And yeah, so everything kind of smelled. And my grandparents had a place right on Lake Michigan. So lakes and it is anything lakeish. Leaves. There were a lot of smells, apparently.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning.
What a question, right? Yeah. I guess for me, I often think about my childhood summer times because I love the summer. And as a kid, it was always, I'm going outside. So like grass, like a lot of like playing with the neighbor kids running around and just like playing like hide and seek in the grass as it's getting dark, multiple houses, just using shadows, just great times. Yeah. What else? I don't know. That's really probably my fondest memory. Yeah. And what I can think of smells associated.
These are great questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that one because it's really hard to offend somebody with that question. And also, again, I didn't come up with that one, but also
unless they don't have a sense of smell, like
right,
yeah.
Which strangely enough,
yes.
I had a guess that was the answer.
Yeah.
This particular person had grown up in Mexico where they used leaded gasoline way too long and it messed with his sense of smell.
Oh no, for real?
And as a child, he did not have much of a sense of smell.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's got one now, but it made for a fantastic story.
Yeah.
That is
even then you got a good story.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a link to that episode.
Totally.
Do you play with a bass player live? Because I've noticed that none of you play that instrument, and as it is my chosen instrument,
excellent bass player.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course he is.
And also, you have a left hand.
Yeah,
Mary's got a left hand.
Yeah. Yeah. So we actually when we play with the band, like the more than the three of us, we have a guitar player and a bass player. And one time we had another keyboarder, and another time we had a horn section. So
there's been a little bit more of a rotating cast of characters through there, but hired guns and friends.
Why? Do you know anybody who plays bass?
Yeah, we're looking. No,
I mean,
we have some. We do.
I love playing bass. I don't think I could live in Massachusetts, but I've been to Massachusetts and I find it lovely. But I'm a Midwesterner. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Oh. You can move away. That's what I did.
It is what you did. So is that like the general plan? Are you gonna so for gigging, are you going to approach each gig as its own little event and try to put together a specific sound for it? Or do you have plans to do like a regular, this is going to be the core group going forward?
Ultimately, I mean, I think we want it to be like a band. Like the last couple of shows we've played with the same
guitar player, same bass player.
Yeah. And they're both terrific. Yeah. And, and that's been really and then like the three of us, and it's been a wonderful,
And it's really nice when they play the songs more than once too. A hired gun comes in, practices once, and like cool, but then come back and like, oh, you added that really neat part there. Right. It becomes more of a natural thing as opposed to play the notes.
I think the next trick is then getting horn players who want to play with us all the time.
Yes, we have one.
We do.
Yeah,
well, that's nice. And with more reps, those songs are going to start to breathe in a different way, right? As you play them out. Y'all put out a record during the pandemic, as you do. A lot of us did. Have you so as you're playing shows now, are you basically playing mostly those songs? Yeah,
I mean we definitely play all of those from Playlist. There's a few older ones from an EP we put out in like 2017,
right?
Yep, so 17.
3-song EP. I forgot perfectly unclear. There.
Yeah, that was a great one. Those were the ones that it was so interesting because we were so specifically trying to play songs on that record that we wrote together.
Yeah.
Not, and the other ones are kind of like, oh, here's a song that I have, and let's kind of throw it in and become one of our songs, or the song Mary has, and it'll be one of our songs. And but as that first EP, we were like so specifically kind of like, let's write this together and let's do it. And I feel like we're kind of, not that it's a pendulum, but we just mostly wrote 2 new songs, and we play one pretty regularly. One we're like this close to finishing, so it will be joining the list very soon, I think, because it's pretty good. But again, we're doing a lot of like very purposefully writing together kind of thing too. So
that means we might get another album.
That's the plan.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
You know, and what did you say? February? You made a bold claim.
I said it's going to be February. Whether it actually happens in February is unclear.
That's awful close to now.
I was going to say
It's a goal, stretch goal, baby.
Yeah, it's a goal. If we aim for February, and
maybe we're going to go in the studio in February.
Well, we have 2 songs.
We do.
And then we can re-record the 3 singles with a band.
Sure.
So now we have 5 songs.
That would give them a different flavor. They are pretty stripped down.
All we need is like 2 or 3 more.
Sure.
So we can write 2 songs by February.
Absolutely.
See?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, heck, you could write 2 songs by the end of the weekend.
That's
I accept that challenge.
Accepted. Right. Exactly.
We were talking about trying to schedule some time. Like it.
Yeah.
I think you guys recently had a songwriting session, and I was so set to go, and then I got COVID.
Okay, COVID, that's right.
Yeah.
I could not join, but I was like, but we had talked about, hey, like that was a couple of hours. Like we really need a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, ideally it would be like a weekend or something.
Sure.
That's
I feel your pain on that. Life just kind of gets in the way, right?
Oh, so
'Cause
much.
You have your family, and then, obviously your family probably wants a place to live and food to eat, so you have to
There's that.
do work that actually pays bills. And I find that personally, if I don't write on my calendar, this is songwriting scheduling time, then I don't get around to it, even though I want to. So yeah, I get it. You just got to say, this is when we're going to write.
Yep.
And then,
Yeah.
and then
it
write.
I mean, historically, it was how Dan and I were getting stuff done. Was
Yeah.
we would once a month we would find like a day, and it was like 14 hours
just
of
spend it
like
at my house.
writing and getting logistics stuff done and
Eating
like
tacos.
eating tacos. There were always tacos.
We'd spend half of it in front of a computer and half of it in front of a piece of paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Half of it in front of the tacos.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
Right?
Honestly, it's a great methodology. I recommend it.
It's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where can I send people to find you? I know the answer to this already, but I want you to say it.
We're at 3 at Home Band on most things. If you spell out all the words, our website is 3athomeband.com. We're at 3 at Home Band on Facebook and Instagram. We're at 3 at Home on Twitter.
Because I forgot band, and Twitter doesn't let you re-sign stuff up.
It does not.
So
Too bad.
We are at 3 at Home Band on TikTok, but
don't go there.
It's
No.
been a minute.
Instagram's great.
Instagram's a good place.
Yeah, Instagram's a
for
good place.
sure.
And also, you can find us up on Bandcamp and on all the major streaming services. 3 at Home Band or 3 at Home. So
I will link to all those websites in the show notes.
Thank you. Amazing.
Yeah, I think we're done. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say for yourselves before I stop the recording?
I feel like I just got scolded.
Oh, I didn't mean it to come out that way. I mean, I guess you're already in a.
Oh, Mike, we lost you.
I think we lost you.
We lost your vocals there, Mike.
Well, that's because I accidentally hit the spacebar key.
Okay, cool. There we go.
It's like you're already in a quiet place, but maybe you should go find another quiet place and really think about what you've done.
Like in a corner, maybe? Or-
Yeah, with a table.
Yeah.
And probably some food and some drinks, maybe. That sounds like a great idea. That's a great idea.
I never
We should
thought of that. but
totally
let's
do
it.
that. Yes.
We're going to do it. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sometimes I have very useful things to say. Thank you for taking time out of your Massachusetts evening to talk with me, Mary and
Thank you for inviting us.
Kari. Mary and Kari should rhyme, but do not.
They don't.
And Dan with 2 N's when
That's
you
me.
abbreviate it. It was nice to meet the 2 of you in person, and sometime out there, Kari, I'm sure maybe I'll get a chance to meet you in person.
Sounds cool.
I would love
Especially if you manage to get on the road. Ohio's not that far from Massachusetts.
No,
you
it's
could
not.
do
could do it in a day.
Yeah.
You could
We'll
do a quick little Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cincinnati,
Sure.
Dayton.
Well,
kinda thing.
maybe Philly first, since that's where I'm from.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Then Pittsburgh. Then
Yeah.
we can. Yeah.
My brother lives in Columbus.
See?
We play
Oh,
Crash. with him.
there's a lot of really good music venues in Columbus too. So
I've heard that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've also
so-
heard Cincinnati's cool.
I prefer Dayton, but that's my home.
Okay.
But yeah, actually, those three towns are all a mile or an hour apart driving, and
Oh man,
it'd be convenient if you were on the road to do shows in all of them. Just saying.
Sure. I'm with this
think
plan.
this is
But
great.
yeah,
Thanks,
if you
Mike.
guys can make that happen, I will support you in any way I can. At least in my town, I know pretty much all the good venues and bands to put you with. So heck, I'd love to play with you. But
Amazing.
yeah, if you ever come out here, hit me up first, and then we'll put something together.
Thank you.
That sounds like a plan.
Perfect.
Cool. Alphabetically, thank you very much to Dan and Kari and Mary of Three at Home for taking time out of their schedule to talk to me. Thank you, dear listener, for listening. Hey, listener, I have a favor to ask. Could you like and or subscribe or leave a positive comment about this podcast wherever you happen to listen to podcasts? That'd probably help, get more ears on the thing, and people can meet these bands. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have another episode out sooner than you think. Have a lovely rest of your day.